It's day 5 of the hunger strike by Wits University unregistered students who are financially excluded. While the university says more than 90% of the eligible students have been registered, it has admitted to having funding issues. The students have vowed to continue with the hunger strike until their demands are met. To tell us more about this, I'm joined by Feziwe Ndwayana, a master's student representing the striking students. A very good afternoon to you, Feziwe. Thank you very much for your time. How are you guys holding up?
Good afternoon, Buyo, and thank you for having us. It's been difficult. I think on day 3, we started feeling weak, but now the weakness is still there, but now it's also affecting our memory and headaches here and there. But we are holding on, we're resolute, and we believe in what we're fighting for.
Do you believe the explanations that have been given, the funding issues that the university is admitting to?
The university has spoken about funding issues, and our bone of contention is that there's a structural challenge here, and we cannot deal with a structural challenge with temporary solutions. We need a permanent solution to this. Now, looking for funding is a temporary solution that always lands institutions of higher learning in this very position every single year. Every single year, students have to go back home. Vuyo, this is after students have to knock on different doors in the university, parading their poverty, going through that humiliation, only to be rejected. And you know, these funding options that they offer at Wits, for instance, the hardship fund, it only offers 50,000 Rand. And after that, the university expects poor students that have proven their poverty to go raise the surplus of whatever they owe. So it's unsustainable, because how is a poor person that has proven that they don't have money, how are they expected to raise the surplus? It simply doesn't make sense. And we wonder, actually, when institutions of higher learning reject Black, poor African students, where are they meant to go? They go back to the township, they go back to rural areas where they're confronted with poverty, where they become victims of crime and all these types of social ills. And these are things that Black people have to face. It's 10 years after the Fees Must Fall movement, and we are still faced with the same issues. In fact, at Wits University, the situation has become worse. We believe that education is not a privilege. People must access education.
What for you would constitute a permanent solution, and how do we get there?
Well, I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that free education is needed. We need free education now. I think prior to the Fees Must Fall movement, the student movement had been calling on free education, and it's still not here. And when we think of the inequality in our country and the high rates of unemployment, the only chance that we have as Black people is our education. Nowadays, even a degree alone is not enough, because the labor market has become so competitive. So as Black people, we'll be stuck in a perpetual cycle of poverty. Why? So all we want is free education. But right now, our demand now is for the institution to allow all unregistered students to register. That is what we want now. But our bigger goal is to say that we haven't forgotten what the student movement has been fighting for, which is free education.
But aren't the issues bigger? In other words, do they not go beyond the institution that is Wits or any other university for that matter?
Well, Vuyo, I'm not sure if I will answer your question, but institutions of higher learning are public institutions. They aren't private. So it is an issue of government. And we believe that when we're speaking to our institution, we're speaking to our government. Of course, there is also an issue of institutional autonomy. And these are things that our government has to respond to and deal with. I mean, we've seen numerous crises, and I'm sure it might be a bit more complicated than this. But we've seen our government intervening in entities, in state entities, SAA, ESCOM, and so on. They need to respond urgently to the crisis in higher education. It cannot be that at UCT there's a protest, and in other institutions of higher learning there are protests, and that's normal. And we are asked to come with the solutions. We aren't the ones that are meant to come with the solutions. Insofar as how do we reach that, but it has to happen.
Feziwe Ndwayana, let me thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.